Hey everybody, Zach McCabe here, Dr. Zach. I have some new and exciting things I want to share with you today. Dr. Matt and I have been working hard on a new program we're implementing into the office, and I just want to run through that, what it looks like, what you can expect, and just give you some ideas on why we're doing what we're doing here and looking for the outcomes that we're looking for. So what I'm going to do here today is share my screen through a PowerPoint, work through this new program, and you see some of it in the back right here on both sides of me. Those are going to be some instrumental parts of what you as a participant in the program will be doing, a spinal and postural rehabilitation program. And you might be wondering, after 20 years of practice, why we're doing this. And the reason is because there are just a certain population of practice members or patients who we just don't see the results that we expect, and we don't see the stability in the spine that we expect with them. And we just want better for those people. We certainly have a lot of people that get great results here in the office, and we help a lot of people, and we are so blessed and grateful for that. But we really think we can do better. And so that's what this program is all about. So with that, and on behalf of Dr. Matt, let me share my screen here and get this program going here. All right, so hopefully you see me in a corner somewhere. So again, this program is not new to the chiropractic profession. It's just new to our practice, something that we are implementing. And the goal of it is to help you regain and strengthen your spine. I should say regain your posture, and strengthen and stabilize your spine. That is what this restoration program is, that we call Innate Reclamation. We are trying to reclaim your innate ability to maintain resilience and health and adaptability in your body. So let me start the PowerPoint there, which I obviously just realized I didn't do. No problem. You can still see the slide. Did it start? There we go. Awesome. Okay. So I have some questions for you to start this. What are you unable to currently do or enjoy because of your current health challenges? I want you to just think about that. What is keeping you from doing what you want to do when it comes to your health? Secondly, in the next couple decades, next 20 to 40 years, what do you want to be doing? You know, I want you to look into the future and say, these are the things I want to do with my loved ones, my children, maybe even my grandchildren. What are those things that you want to accomplish, and who do you want to be doing them with? I just mentioned that as well. And so then I want you to assess your health. I want you to stop and think, and I want you to be honest with yourself and say, in the next 20 to 40 years, given my current state of health, can I do those things? And if not, what am I going to do about it? Right? That's what I want you to think about here. And so this isn't, again, these aren't new revelations. Hopefully we've all gone through that cascade of thought once in a while with our health, with our finances, with our relationships. But let me just stop and reframe here. So this program that we're started with the idea of a similar situation, or someone asking those same questions. The first case that sparked the interest in this need for curvature and postural restoration was identified by a man by the name of Dr. Pearl Pettibon. He was a new chiropractor, and what he saw was over the course of time. So he was able to review X-rays on a case that started in 1961. A woman was involved in a car accident, and she went through the usual program of going to the hospital to make sure nothing was significantly wrong from a standpoint of medical pathology, broken bones, things like that. The MD said nothing's wrong with her. There was nothing wrong according to their protocols. But I'd ask you, what do you see? If you notice, maybe at the bottom of the neck, there's a change in the shape of the spine. It almost looks like a small bird's beak on the bottom of the vertebra. And that is some early stage degenerative disc disease or osteoarthritis, call it what you want, but depending upon the profession. So we know even at the moment of this car accident, this woman had already had some neck troubles. Her neck is very straight. And so we've got some things going on. And so she goes to a chiropractor, and over the next 15 years, Dr. Pettipon's able to review her progress. So 7 years later, in 1968, what we see here, even with chiropractic care to aid in pain relief, part of this condition is continuing. The neck is still straight. In fact, it's getting worse in that regard. It's almost starting to arc forward. That bone spur, that bird's beak looking prominence at the bottom of the spine is getting larger as well. And the disc is getting thinner, which is, those two things go hand in hand when it comes to degenerative disc disease. We call it in chiropractic subluxation degeneration. And this is something you may not have noticed, but her head is progressively moving forward in front of her shoulders. So this is not a condition being helped by chiropractic care. So if I turn myself to the side here, instead of having my head over my shoulders, her head is going forward in front of her shoulders. And that is very, well, it's just hard. It's hard on the body, hard on the spine, etc. Let's advance the slide. Okay, so now we're 14 years later, 1975, and this is where Dr. Pettibon actually comes in, and he is reviewing this case. Notice at the bottom of the spine, the bone spurs have gotten worse, the arthritis has gotten worse, the discs have degenerated further. At this point, there's multiple levels of nerve compression, and that head has just continued to project forward. And so we know that her posture is going to get worse. We know that her spinal cord is going to be irritated on a more significant level. And that's going to affect how the nervous system works, because that's how the nervous system does its job, is it transmits energy or information across those nerve cells from the brain to the body. And so not only her health, but her quality of life is significantly impacted by the fact that restoration of the spine didn't happen. And so that's why we here at McCabe Chiropractic want to offer more. We don't want to see this happen with you or your loved ones. We want to make sure that stability and postural correctness are reclaimed by every person that walks in our door. Not everyone will be a candidate, but for those that are, we want to offer something more than just pain relief, and for that matter, maintenance of the current condition. So this posture rehab program, we know that postural controls in our body are mainly reflexive and involuntary. We don't have a lot of control over them. We can't put significant voluntary conscious effort into maintaining our posture all day. We have other things that we want to or need to worry about. So therefore, these corrections need to come through reflexive changes. In other words, training your body and retraining your nervous system to what is normal. This can't be done through adjustments alone, is what we see with a certain population. And so therefore, that's what this program is about, retraining the body and the brain. And we also know that weakened posture muscles must be strengthened through isometric exercises that don't need significant extremity movement, but need muscle contraction and muscle retraining. And this system is going to teach you how to do that. And do that. There'll be some work to do in the office, and there's going to be a lot of work to do at home too. And so there'll be homework involved in this. But the idea is that we're training you to take care of your health on your own with less need for us, quite frankly. And so the program starts. If you're a candidate, and we determine if you're a candidate or not through your first exam here and your first set of X-rays. X-rays will show us if you don't possess the curves that you should. And so then if we see the lack of curvature in your spine and positive findings on examination, then we proceed to the next level of testing, which is a stress test. And that's going to determine the weakest and most injured areas of your spine, your muscles, and your nervous system, or what we'd call your neuromusculoskeletal system. And that's going to determine your course of care. The stress test consists of warming up, exercises, spinal adjustments, and then weighted X-rays. And the warm-up process is what you see in the back here, the neck stretchers, neck traction, cervical traction hanging on the wall, the wobble chairs here in the back. And you're going to see a video on those in a second. Doing some thoracic rolling with a foam roller. Then you get adjusted. And then we take stress X-rays, which are weighted X-rays. And you're going to see a great picture of that here shortly. So moving on here. So weighted stress X-rays, what we're looking to see is when we attach weights to certain parts of your body, can we force your muscles into restoring your curve? And that's what you see on this image here. If you look at the image on the left, what you see is less curvature and more forward head carriage than on the right. And if you look on the very top corner of that image on your right, you see a little white square. That's a lead weight on that person's head. And so we're actually increasing ultimately the weight of the head, and their body responded by pulling their neck back and creating a real nice curve. And that's what we want to see. And if we don't see that, then there's going to be more work to do in the program. And so every time you come in this program, there are certain things that we have expectations of from you. And one is that you are hydrated. I want to make sure that you're giving your body what it needs, and water is the place to start. Our body is made of over 70% of water, our nervous system over 90%. And every time we lose hydration, we can lose height and we can lose flexibility in our discs, which are the shock absorbers of our spine. Also, nutrients. Want to make sure that you're getting a good balanced diet, but you're also supporting that soft tissue structure in your body. And so what you'll have here available to you when you're going through our program, we expect you to take a little bit of, drink just a little bit of salt water and have some glucosamine chondroitin and MSM, which we sell in the form of our Chondro Relief Plus from Nutridyne. We also want you to make this a habit at home, adding this to your supplement regimen with a good solid multivitamin source, vitamin D, an omega-3 fatty acid source. I suggest certainly magnesium as well, probiotics. Those would be the kind of the foundational supplements we want our people on for good health. And these two are instrumental in rehabilitating the spine. The Chondro Relief, or a combination of MSM, glucosamine, chondroitin, and then some good healthy salts, just a little bit in your diet as well. All right, so your warm-up exercises start with a 6-way cervical stretch. That's gonna be demonstrated to you, but ultimately it's just going through 3 different stretching motions, as you see in that image in the center. Forward to the left, forward to the right, directly to the left and to the right, and then back to the left and to the right. Those 6 stretches do a great job of organizing, preparing, and warming up those cervical muscles for change. And so that's going to be a habit we want you to implement. And then repetitive cervical traction. Again, that's what you see hanging on the wall behind me. Here you see Dr. Matt demonstrating. Notice that he's got the foam pad on his neck, and he's got a support brace under his chin with his hands up, palms up, and supporting him. It's actually his hands that are supporting most of the weight, not that foam on his neck. And this exercise where he does this mild squat and up is designed to warm up the neck. This is not designed to reestablish the curve. What we're doing here is warming up the neck, and should have a video pop up of me doing this work. So there you go. A good arch in the back, looking straight up, then looking down as you stand up tall. Again, butt back arched, looking up as you squat down, straight back, chin down, looking down as you go up. And that's, again, stretching that cervical spine. We're preparing it for change, preparing it for adjustment as well, but it's not designed to restore the curve. There's more to it than that. This is just part of the process. All right, how do I skip through here? This is going to be interesting. We don't want to watch me all day. So there we go. Benefits of cervical traction. What does it do? It reduces the stress in the neck and aids in the prevention of and recuperation from injuries. It assists in the healing of disc bulges and disc tears. It helps restore normal cervical curves and relieves tension in the spine, increases the function of the first 4 cervical vertebrae, and stimulates endorphin production. It also helps rehydrate and degenerative discs. Next, we got the wobble chair. The wobble chair, just like the 6-way cervical stretch, we're gonna try to stretch and work those lower back muscles, warming them up for change in multiple directions. Here we'll see Dr. Matt this time doing his best wobble chair. Forward and back is what he's doing first. He's going to do that. Then he's going to go side to side. So left to right. And then he's going to end with a figure 8 motion where you're going to go up, back, over to the other side, and up and back again. Just continue that cycle of a figure 8 is what we're doing there. So now that I know where to go, what are our benefits? It's going to improve lower back movement, rehydrate the discs, lubricate spinal joints. This aids in recuperation of disc bulges and herniations, decreases potential for injury, and improves joint integrity. Also, all of these motions help circulate CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. The thoracic foam roll, that's going to help work the middle back. We're just going from the top of the rib cage to the bottom, rolling back and forth. Do we have a video here? Of course we do. I do this every morning actually at home before I even knew this system. This is just a great stretch and warm up for the middle back. So you can see that we're going to go back and forth there. And each of these stretches we're actually going to do in the office here for 5 minutes or 3 minutes. I'm sorry. 5 minutes on the wobble chair, 3 minutes for the other 2. And things we want that you'll have take-home kits available to take home and continue to do these at first on a daily basis, and then eventually you'll do them less as your body gets stronger and more stable. You can see the benefits there. Relaxes tension, increases movement, allows for movement of the cervical and lumbar spine too, because the thoracics are the anchors of those 2 endpoints. Breaks up scar tissue and improves CSF flow. There's those posture weights. So you won't have to look as dorky as I do when you're wearing those, but we put these weights on your head and then we put you on a vibration plate to accelerate muscle fatigue. And we want to see what your body does with those, with that process. And that's going to help us understand your protocol, your program is what it's going to help us with. So this is going to, these benefits of the head and hip weights, it's going to correct forward head syndrome and overall posture, relieve stress and tension on the heart, and when worn immediately after adjustments or at home after, I think that's supposed to say the head. I'm gonna have to change that in the slide, which relieves stress and tension on the head. Maybe the heart too, but it's good for you. And when worn immediately after the adjustment or at home after cervical traction in the wobble chair, this is actually what's doing the restoration of your curve right here. The wearing weights to change muscle function. And we also are going to send you home with a fulcrum kit, some fulcrums to help increase curvature while you're in a passive state. This follows the warm-up exercise, doing it morning or evening. Once a day at first. Again, you're going to be coached through all of this as we go. And so it was seeing improvement like this that got us interested, that really piqued the interest of Dr. Matt and I in this program. And so we look forward to seeing improvements in you, see what you can accomplish with our help. And these are just great examples of what we expect to see. Notice how the spine goes from straight on the left, 32 millimeters of forward head carriage, 14-degree curvature, now 39 degrees curve, and a -2. We want that head carriage to be 0, and we want the curvature to be about 40 degrees. This is a great example of significant improvement through the program. Lumbar spine too, we want to see improvement there, 4 millimeters to 12, and the lumbar spine's measured a little bit different. So we'll go over your findings when you go through the program. And in this program, there are different phases of care. And this is nothing real new to our office here. We've always offered different phases of care. Many of you might be on our wellness program, actually, initial intensive, corrective, and wellness care. And so we are just rebranding them to add this program in. And so let's see what that looks like. That initial intensive care, because we're trying to create new habits with these exercises and get your body out of crisis mode, what we need is time, we need repetition. We're trying to reconnect your brain and your body, restore that function of the nervous system, the spine, the muscles, obviously reduce inflammation, because many of you come in with a problem, with a symptom. So adjustments are intense in this first program, 3 to 5 times per week for the first 2 to 4 weeks. And you're going to do home rehabs twice a day during this intensive care program. We're then going to move into more of a corrective care. So we've gotten the fire put out, if you will, if I can use a metaphor. And now we're working on rebuilding. And so corrective care, we're going to improve function, anchor new habits. You know, research on muscle physiology shows that a minimum of 90 to 180 days of rehab is needed to attain correction and biomechanical change. Your brain needs to rewire and create these new habits. We're going to re-exam every 30 days and then re-X-ray every 90. And during this phase, you're going to be coming in twice a week. So that's somewhere in the 4 to 12 week range, depending upon the case. And exercise performed still twice a day is what we want during this program or this phase of corrective care. And then finally, stabilization care and full rehab. Now we're getting into lifetime maintenance, lifetime care here. Research on ligament physiology shows that it takes 18 to 24 months of rehab to become functional. And so adjustments at this start point are going to reduce down to once a week at first. Eventually, we expect to get down to twice a month and then once a month. And once a month becomes our gold standard with maintenance care if you're choosing to maintain the integrity of your spine through chiropractic adjustments and self-care. And so the home rehab exercises 1 time per day for the first 6 months. Of course, we're reducing down from twice a day, every other day for the 6 to 9 month phase, and then a minimum of once per week after that. We still need to remind the body, the brain, and the nervous system to maintain what it's accomplished. And so as we close here today, I hope you've learned something. I hope you get a glimpse of what we're trying to do. And I have just a quick questions for you. You know, which phases of care is most important? You know, they all are. It depends on where you're at. You know, some of you are going to need less intensive care and some of you are going to need more intensive care. Some of you are going to need less corrective care and some of you are going to need more corrective care. And how you transition through that stabilization care is going to be different too. It's unique to you. And when should you start this? That's the next question. Well, with that, I'm going to ask you a different question. When's the best time to plant a tree? You know the answer to that? The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. But the second best time is today. And so I implore you, I ask you to remember those first questions. What do you want to be doing for the rest of your life? Who do you want to be doing it with? What does living a vibrant life mean to you? And what is it going to take to get you there? Are you willing to make a commitment to yourself and to your health to make these changes that are necessary for a strong, healthy, stable body? And if that's what you're after, then I want you to join us and so that we can help you. So I'm going to end this slideshow. If I can remember how to do that. There we go. Welcome back to the big screen. Again, hope you learned something. My name is Dr. Zach McCabe, of McCabe Chiropractic and Wellness Center in Hudson, Wisconsin, along with Dr. Matt. On behalf of him today, I hope you enjoyed our presentation on what we call innate reclamation.